Have you ever lost your in a professional working environment? Done something that would be widely considered unprofessional, yelled at someone, bursted out in tears, or called someone else names? I have. My name is Angela. I am an executive who has worked in the corporate world for the past 25 years and a professional career coach who helps other females fulfill their career dreams at a faster pace. I am here to share my story of the day when I lost my and the lessons that I have learned since then. If you stick around, I'll also share the reaction of my manager at the time when she heard about this story. So here's what happened the day I lost my at work. It was supposed to be a celebration, an event that I organized personally as a young marketeer. Invitations were sent to thought leaders in the industry, to innovators, and members of our clinical advisory board. The event took place in Las Vegas, and I felt very lucky as I was able to secure a venue that was very attractive. It was a private club overseeing the Strip. The promise that this event held was so great that members of our executive team, inclusive of our president, cleared their calendars to attend. Throughout the day, during the exhibit part of the meeting, several of the invitees stopped by at our booth to let us know that they had conflicting events, but that they would make an effort to stop by. To cut to the chase, at the evening of the event, only one of the invitees stayed for dinner, and about half a dozen stopped by for a drink and a quick chat. That was very disappointing for everyone, but in particular for the president. He had downed one whiskey after another, getting more and more outspoken. And at some point in time, he said, "We need to cut the ties with all of the people who didn't make it to our dinner." I dared to challenge that notion, and I blurted out, "You cannot do that." Well, guess what happened next? I got yelled at in front of the entire room of peers, of executives, and of customers. You could hear a needle drop at that moment, and all eyes were on me. I quickly put my napkin on my chair, excused myself, and ran to the bathroom. I locked myself into a stall and cried uncontrollably. I was sobbing. I totally lost my About 15 minutes went by, which seemed like a lifetime, and obviously my absence at the dinner table was duly noted. I had a hard time getting myself back under control to return to the room, but eventually I put on some lipstick and ignored the fact that my eyes were red and blurry from all of the tears and that my sinuses were clogged. I walked back to the room and I suffered through the rest of the dinner. It was the worst moment of my career up until that point. I felt humiliated. I felt like a victim. I felt vulnerable. I felt like I had hit rock bottom. Recovery did not come quickly or easily to me, as my ego was deeply wounded. Thankfully, my manager at the time, a female executive, helped me to learn from the experience and move through it, focusing on the future. She was supportive of me and empathetic and helped me learn from the experience. So what are the lessons that I have learned that helped me turn into a female executive who has her together? Lesson number 1, respond, don't react. I was definitely reacting to the president when instead I should have validated and acknowledged what he was saying. Yes, it was disappointing that the turnout was so low. At the same time, I could have suggested a meeting afterwards when we were back at the home office to discuss the learnings and what could have been done differently. Lesson number 2, don't take things personally. It was disappointing that hardly anyone showed up. But as far as the organization of the event was concerned, I certainly gave it my all. Lesson number 3, we choose our perspectives. My initial reaction to the outburst of the president was that of a victim. If I had looked at this situation as a learning opportunity, I could have shifted my energies much faster. Lesson number 4, have role models. I was fortunate at the time because it was almost 20 years ago and I had a female executive as my manager. She was very empathetic and helped me focus on the future and put this experience behind me as quickly as possible. I'd like to think that I have become that type of a role model for others. Lesson number 5, it is okay to cry. This is a lesson that hasn't come easily to me. I have always believed in the stereotype of women turning on the waterworks quickly and tried not to show my emotions at work, which is probably why it was so much worse of an experience for me to show how upset I was in front of so many people. What I know today is that tears are just a release of negative energies and that you need to go through that release in order to move on. They also make us human. Learning these lessons took many years of experience and insight and growing. I wrote a blog about this story and shared it with the female executive who was my manager at the time. Her reaction was that she loved the article and that she had no recollection of this dinner, which is my bonus lesson. In our eyes, events such as these can become a gremlin, something that haunts us for the rest of our careers. As a professional coach, I can help you reframe those stories that you may have in your mind about the worst experiences that you have made in the professional environment. If you would like to talk to me about coaching you, please contact me at angela@belladonnacareercoach.com. And if you found this video valuable, please do like and subscribe.